The following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.
This isn't just a game, this is iRacing. I thought I was having some issues there for a moment. My
mouse was acting up. I heard that noise. I was like, well, what's going on here? But anyways, welcome in. iRacing Superspeedway, race number 2 in this series of 4 in the Masters of the Draft, the National Association for Stock Car Virtual Racing, as we get to hit the 3-mile racetrack that technically is in the home of iRacing, is where the track is based out of. But myself being one that likes to be creative here, what I like to do is I go in and I find a random city. So what I'm going to do is I'm going over here to Google Maps real quick, and I'm going to find a random town. Let's go out here. Let's zoom in all the way to here, and here we are live from Grants Pass, Oregon. That's where the track is. iRacing Superspeedway. We get ready to go for 67 laps of racing from Grants Pass, Oregon. That's not really where the track is. I mean, it's obviously a made-up track, but either way, iRacing's done a good job of emulating the old Coca-Cola Speedway that we had on NASCAR Racing 2003. Has turned it in iRacing Superspeedway, and it is a monster. Just shy of 3-mile course, banking at, I think, like 38 to 40 degrees or something like that, but straightaways are very long, the corners are very tight. Matter of fact, you look down here, see turn 3 and 4 in the distance. It is high banked, it is tight, and you're going to see a lot of drafting here and a lot of action going on. As for the second time in this season, we will be here at iRacing Superspeedway in the 87 cars. So the old school cars on the I guess sort of new school / old school track here at iRacing Superspeedway, as qualifying has begun, presented by Vivid EV in the Pole Award. We will have a pre-race show for those curious. It always comes up after qualifying because of the meeting that these guys have during that time period. But as you see, cars are out on track right now, as we see Jason Branch, and he finds a way to actually hit the outside wall here. This track has like 23 lanes, and yet he hit the outside wall. But anyways, he's roaring up to speed here. You're going to see speeds close to about 200 miles an hour by themselves. And then once they get into the draft, they are going to be rolling somewhere 200 and probably 20 miles an hour or so, which means the blowover, well, these cars might not land if they fly. Let's just put it like that. They're hauling tail around here. As that Cale Yarborough paint scheme of Jason Branch going to be the first one to get back to the start-finish line. Actually, not going to be the first one to record a time, as Sam Taylor has put he had a 9 on the pole. Ryan Wilson to the pole. Dylan Picklesimmer to the pole in the 12 car at a 53.25. As A.J. Condon, he was in the purple there for a split second. As A.J. is third, it looks like 53.34. So Dylan's lap actually pretty sporty. When you look at some of these times, everybody's on top of another time-wise, but then you see 0.8 of a second, 0.8 of a second, as James Hudson goes into second. Again, if you see the purple at the bottom there, that means that person is on a pole lap right now. If they're in the green, that means they're faster. If they're in the yellow, that means not as quick. As Joe Wells jumps to the top, 52.98. He's the first in the 52-second bracket. As bam, Jason Branch 52.90, Andrew Moore 52.91. As other cars go across the line, that's A.J. Condon as he crosses the line, and he's going to stay 13th with a 53.19. And who we got here? The 34 of Tommy Rogers, 21st right now as he crosses the start-finish line. And he will jump to 19th, 53.32 on his lap. So Branch ran a 90 flat, a 91 for Moore, a 95 for Quentin Clark, last week's winner at Daytona. Scott Wise, 4th, Joe Wells, 5th. Tim Shiflett, everybody's pretty much got laps in. Here's Derek Jacobs. He crosses the line. And Derek goes 53.61 on his second lap. And he'll be 23rd. Here's the old drifter. Right now, Drift 24th out of 24 cars as he brings it out of turn 4. He's in the green, which means he's going to be faster, but he's got to get 0.6 of a second just to gain a spot. And he does so, gains a big amount, 13th, 53.098. Now, unless somebody can get in here and turn a lap really quickly, Jason Branch is going to win the Vivid EV Pole Award here from iRacing Superspeedway. Congratulations to Jason on the pole. We'll talk to him hopefully here in a couple minutes as we will go into our pre-race portion. But make sure you check out Vivid EV, helping out with electronic vehicles for those in need, from obviously motorized vehicles or scooters and stuff to golf carts to whatever. Check out Vivid EV for all their hard work. And of course, you can see them on some race cars throughout the season, as Joe Wells has done a great job of painting some cars in real life, including Blaine Perkins' car a couple weeks ago in Vegas. All right, pre-race show officially begins right now as we take a look at the point standings going into the race here tonight. Let's start with the point standings of the Vintage 87's division here. Of course, each race, each series is separated into 4 race splits, as I've compared it all year long to Mario Kart, basically. As you get 4 races, then you get a little time off, 4 races, another time off, 4 races, yada, yada, yada. Yes, I just pulled a Seinfeld. But Shane Ward leads the points because of stage points, as he was able to win himself a stage last week, and you see the 24 bonus points. He picked up a pretty good amount last week, as he leads by 10 over the Daytona winner, Quentin Clark. Eddie Roraldi finished second in that race. He is third. Dylan Picklesimmer, Travis Gilbert, your top 5. It's the furthest down that Gilbert and Wells have been to start so far. And the first time, I was going to say the first time that a driver from the team had not been leading in the points, that team being, of course, the G Lightning team. But then I forgot that Shane Ward's actually the points leader here, not Quentin Clark, who won the Daytona race. Overall point standings, it is the Wells and Gilbert show right now up there at the top, as those two have pulled away. Shane Ward, Darrell Johnson, Scott Wise, your top 5 in the overall points, and this accumulates all 24 races by the end of the season. And, of course, we've gotten all of 9 done here as tonight, or 8 going into tonight. So this is race number 9, and Joe Wells, Travis Gilbert kind of running away with that one right now. We'll see if somebody can start making a run in that. Team points overall, G Lightning running the show, literally, as they have 1 and 2 right now in the points positions, as they've gotten 5 of the 8 wins here so far. Actually, it looks like 9, 5 and 9, 5, 6, 7, 9. Okay, 1 here. Yeah, this is race number 2. This should be race number 4, 8, 9. No, this is race number 10. There we go. Let me get it right here. It is race number 10, actually, of the season. So 8 plus 2 is 10, Chris. But yeah, either way, as you see, G Lightning has won 5, Torqued Wrench with 1, High Spirits with 1. They got their win last week at Daytona. And then, of course, 2 for TW Motorsports down there in the 7th position going into the race here tonight. Let's take a look at the... I thought somebody grenaded a motor down there on pit road. Let's take a look at the schedule now. As here in season number 2, of course, we are all the way down here at iRacing Superspeedway in the 3rd portion. As you see, we've already done the trucks. We've already done the next-gen cars. Now we're in the 87s. Note that next week we will be off, as a matter of fact. Next week off for the Thanksgiving holiday, and we'll come back on December 3rd with the 87s from Daytona again on the old course. And then you'll see Talladega to finish it out there before we hit the All-Star race right before Christmas, before taking 2 weeks off and coming back with the Xfinity car in January of 2025. So a lot of good stuff coming up here. Not only tonight, but also throughout these next few weeks, as this will be the last official series that you'll see here on the Captain eSports Network. Once we get down towards the end of the broadcasting here at the end of, matter of fact, on April 8th next year, my birthday will be the final nights of broadcasting here on the Captain eSports Network. So, all right, cars are on track in the warm-up here, so I'm guessing the meeting is over. That's usually how that works when they get out here and race on the track. So let's talk to our Vivid EV Polo Award winner, that being the Brancher, Jason Branch. As Jason pulls a lap out of his tail, it makes me wonder if he has somebody else driving his car. I'm kidding, obviously. But Jason, great lap.
Hey.
Great lap, man. And putting that Cale Yarborough car on the pole, and it's got to be a pretty cool feeling. And now you get to lead him into turn 1, and that's something that I honestly don't know what the heck's about to happen.
Me neither, Chris. Me neither. And just to clarify, I did not hit the wall in qualifying. I came close. I didn't hit the wall.
Stop listening to me while we're streaming, okay?
I wasn't. My teammates were giving me crap about
Oh man, so obviously you've had some good runs, and unfortunately you've not really been able to put some finishes together. How do we change that tonight?
I don't know. You know, like I said, I try to put myself where I need to be, and try to run a clean race for the first. You know, my theory was always, hey, I'm going to run clean until the end, and I always get wrecked out before the end. So I don't know. Maybe I'll just try to stay up front.
There you go, man.
Somewhere up there. I don't know.
I mean, you got the best position here to start. I mean, you're starting P1. Obviously, going into turn 1. Let's talk about the cars. Have you had an opportunity to go side by side with anybody into the corner here? Because my first thought is how easy it is to clip the apron at this track going into a corner. And, this car obviously going up the track is going to be a little bit different than, say, the truck or a next-gen car or something like that.
I have. The only thing I got worried about being on the bottom going into turn 1 is the car. Like, oh, someone just clipped the apron there.
Sitting there for queue.
Oh, hey.
Backup car to the back.
But the car likes to. You can't go in full throttle on the bottom, especially on the bottom going into the bottom. So it washes up, and once the car washes up here, it just keeps washing up. There's no like turning it back down unless you get completely out of the throttle, really, and then they just drive away from you. So I think it's going to be interesting. The biggest interesting thing we're going to see, Chris, is if there's going to be green flag pit stops. That pit road entrance is coming off the track onto the apron is super, super sketchy.
It is bumpy. It's like the Phoenix dog leg, if you will. So yeah,
it's worse, I think.
Ooh,
and
okay.
Yeah, it's in these cars, I went in one time and it kicked me completely sideways and down the front stretch. So if we got green flag pit stops, I think there's going to be some accidents going into the pits.
Ooh,
so maybe stay out as long as you can and hope other people pit and bring a caution out. I don't know. Gonna kind of play it by ear here.
Right. Well, you got the Vivid EV Pole Award here tonight. So congratulations to you and that 28 car. Obviously, all the best here tonight, and let's see if we can get you in victory lane.
Yeah, good, because you know what, the poles don't come often for me, so maybe maybe victory lane will come just as often as the pole award. So we'll see.
Absolutely, buddy. Hey, good job tonight so far.
Hey, thanks.
You too. Jason Branch on the pole here tonight. And let's see if there's Quentin down there in the high spirits team. Let's bring up the driver of the 42 that went to victory lane last week. A pretty wild race for you, Quentin. Obviously, hey buddy, you pulled off the win last week at Daytona, obviously. And it was a little wild race. You were involved in a couple skirmishes and then got to victory lane. Now tonight, this wild card of a mess that I'm not sure of many people that will know what to expect here tonight unless you ran that practice race. I, for one, are going in blind tonight. What do we expect? I mean, give me a little synopsis for a newcomer coming to iRacing Superspeedway in an 87 car.
I'm going to be trying to practice.
Don't do that.
Yeah, I'm not going to do that. Distracting me while I'm driving.
I could have done it during
that
the race.
transition. So that transition right there is rough. The whole car wants to get knocked loose right there. So if you're downshifting and you've got one hand on the wheel and you're using a direct drive wheel when you go over that transition, it just jerks. So I'm gonna make some adjustments here. It doesn't do that as much.
Is it one of those things where you want to go straight, maybe off of as straight as you can off the track and maybe not shift until you get to the pit road itself?
Yeah, I typically, downshift to try to slow the car down. So just now, you saw that doesn't work very well here during that transition. So,
Breaking news.
So that's going to be, if we have green flag stops. I think the bottom is just going to be dominant in the corners, and people are going to wash up. It's going to get really tight, and you got to watch for people washing up. So it's going to be tough to avoid incidents because if you're on the outside lane, you want to be aggressive and kind of hug them down as much as you can, but you got to be careful because be conscientious of where they are and when they wash up, and that's going to be hard. And then the other thing that's interesting too is in the draft, it's diving into the corner. If you are not careful with how much rear brake you have or how much you send it in, you will lose the rear end. It's a ramp. It's kind of like the Monza corners almost, where it kind of ramps up to a flat straight. It's tough.
There you go, man. Well, hey, I appreciate the lessons there. Now, go show me how to get to victory lane here tonight. So best of luck, man. Appreciate your time, buddy.
Got to keep my nose clean first.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. That is, of course, Quentin Clark, the winner last week at Daytona, as he looks to continue it for high spirits. As we are going to go trackside as we get ready for this race at iRacing Superspeedway. It is time for the national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
All right, getting ready to go here from iRacing Superspeedway as today's car rolls off. 24 cars are here. 21 of them looks like going to start this race on the track as we take a look at the starting lineup. Somebody tell Scott Wise to go. Scott's having issues. Been having a rough week on the computer. Jason Branch wins the pole. Congratulations him in that 28 car. Andrew Moore will start on the outside as more people check it up back here. Quentin Clark and Scott Wise on row 2. Row 3, Joe Wells and Tim Shiflett. Eddie Rawaldi and Shane Ward in row 4. Stephen Melnick, good qualifying effort for him in the number 1 car. Greg Thompson there in the 10th position. Al Likens and Travis Gilbert. Last time we raced here at iRacing Superspeedway, it was Gilbert who went to victory lane. No, I'm sorry. Scott Wise won that race. My bad. I'm just thinking out loud here. Drift in row 7 there with Roger Rios Matias. Roger, one of the cars that's going to start on pit road. Ryan Hayes, Dylan Picklesimmer, Tony Deakins. He'll be on pit road to start the race alongside AJ Condon. As we roll down the back straightaway here, down towards turn 3. Ryan Wilson, Brady Korowski, James Hudson, Tommy Rogers, Sam Taylor, and Derek Jacobs. Going to round out the 24 cars. So Jacobs, Deakins, Matias, and Al Likens going to start the race on pit road. 67 laps tonight. Stages are at lap 14 and 34, and I throw the reminder in there that there will be no cautions for stage breaks, as I learned last week and forgot. But either way, getting ready to go racing here on this 68-degree afternoon at iRacing Superspeedway. I think half the field's still trying to get caught up as the green flag's going to come out. Race number 2 in the 87's and iRacing Superspeedway goes green. Our cameras presented by TrackCams22.com. They are online on Facebook and the iRacing forums at TrackCams22.com. As you see, Likens and Roger Rios Matias have pulled off of pit road there. You kind of saw them rolling out a little bit on camera as we roll down the back straightaway. Everybody getting up to speed, already over 200 miles an hour, already fanning out 2 and 3 wide. Quentin Clark's going to jump up there in front of his teammate Andrew Moore. Technically an AJ, Andrew Jr. As you see them kind of porpoise into turn 3 and kind of land there. Car's going to move around just a little bit. And Branch lead them off turn 4 to the first lap. They drive all the way down here to the start-finish line in this Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series. As Clark leads lap 1. Up the track, Scott Wise. I think these guys are going to be kind of careful here for a little bit just to get used to the situation here. And look at Travis Gilbert already up to the second position after starting 12th. He's looking for the lead off of turn number 4. Got his teammate Joe Wells there with him. And just for those who are not used to watching this, started this last week actually, you can now look over on the left side of the screen, and if you're wondering how many laps are left in a stage, you'll be able to see that number to the left, and we'll be able to show you who actually finishes in the top 10 unofficially in each stage. As down the back straightaway by 2 right now, it's being very patient. And you see already where the cars are kind of washing up just a little bit. On board with Clark is there, with Branch is there 3 wide. Joe Wells says, "Excuse me, teammate, I want to pass you now." As Branch goes up there, gives Clark a little shot in the old derriere into turn 1. Everybody running 50-second laps right now around this track. Would have thought you'd be seeing these kind of cars going around this nearly 3-mile oval. As Joe Wells brings it off turn 4, and he's going to get himself a lap lead here early. Drift down there kind of by himself. He's going to fall back as that 33 slides into play. Eddie Roddy coming off a good run at Daytona last week. As Dylan Picklesimmer back there in that 12 car, also a part of this. Ooh, almost some contact back there with the 2. As these guys had to check up a little bit. Shane Ward back there in the 39, almost getting caught up in that. As that 2 car is actually, I believe, James Hudson, who's in the 6. You'll see on the screen, so not to be confused, the 2 Kodiak car is actually James Hudson, I believe, if I'm seeing that right. That Rusty Wallace throwback from the 80s, where he started driving for Penske before Penske bought the team he was driving for at that time. 16 cars on the lead draft here. Early in this race, Tony Deakins and Derek Jacobs never made the start of the race. But 22 strong. As Branch trying to get the lead back, and look at Joe Wells carrying the momentum up there in that top groove. It's a longer way around, but the run's coming. We're going 4 deep here, boys. Slow car up ahead, and they're 4 deep going to turn 3. That is Picklesimmer at the bottom. As you see, this track's plenty wide to do 4 and 5 wide. Good stuff here so far. And once again, 3 and 4 wide, and then you got to be careful going to the corner. Somebody like Branch down there at the bottom. This car's going to slide up the track here. Probably got to blip the throttle a little bit to let that car set. And that's what he had to do. There's he and Rawadi almost touch. Oh, one car in the wall loses a bumper. That is, I believe, Shane Ward back there. It's lost his front end. Lauren's going to send one of the race officials in turn 2 out there real quickly to grab that bumper as soon as traffic clears. They have good insurance on their officials. As Hudson, and we just mentioned his name up there in the top side, Pickle Simmer just pushing him down the straightaway. As Quentin Clark also making a move to the middle. I mean, the draft is just so huge, and the start-finish line is in the middle of the track on the front straightaway. So, I mean, there's a chance you can make the run. If you can get a good enough run through 3 and 4, you can make the pass at the start-finish line. That's tight. Otherwise, you might have to be able to make the, you might have to try to make the move going into 3 and 4 on the final lap here, but this will be a good opportunity for these guys to practice that move. As they come up on the end of the stage, lap car of Drift as they're coming up on Stephen Melnick. I'm sorry, Drift's leading, not the lap car. My bad, Drift. Drift actually leads the lap. Kind of curious on the tire wear and have no clue what to expect on tire wear here this evening in this race. Not sure if we're going to see 4 tire stops or we're going to get 2 tire stops, because you got to remember the old school pit crews here. You're going to see 20-second stops almost for 4 tires and fuel in this car. Of course, this is the Vet2Track Cup, or 80, well, I can't talk. Vet2Track Masters of the Draft Series. There we go. Big shout out to Vet2Track that does a lot of great things for veterans, and also a big supporter of the Masters of the Draft Series. Big shout out to Masters of the Draft that help veterans find an outlet through motorcycle racing and riding on a specialized track. So big shout. Oh, hold on. Is Bro Audi with a big save off the front end of Travis Gilbert. Gilbert did a great job of getting out of that before it could have been messy. We stay green and 5 laps to go already in stage 1. I mean, if you're in this pack, you could win this stage. As Shane Ward has fallen off, obviously, with the damage to his car. You saw Melnick go a lap down just a minute ago. Roger Rios Matias and Al Likens running together right now. They are a good at least 14, 15 seconds back from the leaders themselves. There they are. Brady Kurowski out there kind of by himself, and then Tommy Rogers and Taylor, these guys running by themselves. And then the rest of the field all up here with Quentin Clark now up front, Gregory Taylor in that 08 Bud car. Drift there in third, Joe Wells. And Travis Gilbert, another lead change. I think tonight might be more safer to count the laps that no one made a pass for the lead. Laps to go in stage 1. Again, no cautions for the stage end, so it's a straight through. Top 10 will get the bonus points, and we will carry on. Giving a bump to his teammate there, Greg Thompson. This guy's hanging out in the Torque Wrench channel. Starting to notice that second pack might actually come together a little bit as I'm looking over at the track map right now on my screen. As the 54 Shiflet, Sam Taylor, Tommy Rogers, all of them created a 4-car draft. And they, might be able to do some work here if they can stay organized. Obviously, Shane Ward not up to speed now with that front end missing, so he might have to jump in like the middle of the pack or something to let himself get pulled around a little bit, as they're going to come off turn 4 here and to the final lap of stage 1 already in what has been a highly contested race. This is going to get interesting right here. Let the games begin. Who can get the run and where? Drift there behind Thompson. Quentin Clark right there with his teammate Andrew Moore. You got Travis Gilbert with the 12 behind him of Pickle Simmers. They race down the back straightaway here. Ooh, up the track goes Drift, pushes Gilbert up. As they bring it off turn 4, the race to the line in stage 1. Oh, Quentin Clark, I think. It is Clark. Look at that. Oh, and now a contact and a safe bid. No, Joe Wells into the wall. As caution will come out. Wells involved. We're already involved. A couple of G Lightning cars. Let's go back and review that finish of stage 1. He's got a broken right front. And that started with just a bump drafting here across the line right there. Is how Clark got it, and I think Wells actually ended up 3rd. But then he gets a bump right there from Branch. Branch tries to let him get it, and unfortunately they're going to make contact. Scott Wise going to get damaged at 2 into the wall of Hudson, and then there's Roddy getting the damage from Joe. This will allow everybody to come to pit road once they catch the pace car. There, Branches gets the 3-car loose, just trying to help him out, unfortunately. A lot of debris going flying everywhere, and then Wells gets hit pretty hard there. Let's get you a bird's eye view of the finish here of the stage as they're going to come to pit road here. Should be right in here as the start finish line. Right there. Top 5 all within couple of tenths of each other. That's pretty impressive. All right, pit stops. Here we go. Yeah, some cars getting that reset that they have. Others should be seeing tires and fuel for everybody here, I would think. Oh, around goes somebody. So 21 getting turned to Rios Matias. We had a couple cars just not getting the right pit stall or something. As Pickle Simmer stays out and Quentin Clark wins the race off pit road. With 4 tires and fuel, it looks like for everybody here. All right, let's We talked to him pre-race, but we're going to drag him up here again real quickly and talk to him about that stage as he gets to win in stage number 1 is Quentin Clark. Obviously, man, what a race it's been so far, and a lot of good clean passing and stuff, but you were able to edge out Greg Thompson there to get the win in stage 1. That's much like last week all over again. I believe you won stage 1 in that race too. You did not. I was trying to remember. Did you learn anything there coming to the line? Because, I mean, obviously you might have to use a similar move like that at the end of the race. It is. It is. So, hey, great job tonight so far. One stage in. Go get a second stage, and maybe we'll talk later. By the way, is the open face helmet comfortable? Attaboy. All right, best of luck. As Quentin Clark leading the race, and of course, for those 3 people that might have paid attention to what he just said there, he said handlebars. So let's go ahead and get that one cleared up. That'd be interesting if you ran iRacing with handlebars. Just thought. All right, so everybody came to pit road. Of course, Pickle Simmer came in the next lap, got himself tires and fuel. Quentin Clark is going to lead, Drift second, Greg Thompson third, Tommy Rogers, Ryan Wilson, your top 5. As we'll come back to begin stage number 2, and actually the first caution coming out there. This one's just going to be a smidgen longer. So lap 34, which will be the halfway point in this race. As pace car pulls in. Tim Shiflett coming to pit road with it. As the green flag comes out, Scott Wise over in turn 3 right now. Not going to be able to catch up to the draft here as the green comes out. He's going to need a yellow here relatively quickly. These guys get up to speed. Wonder how much these guys learned and what they did learn after that first stage. Already over 210 miles an hour down into turn 3 and 4. As Thompson goes to the lead, Quentin Clark, Ryan Wilson now in that inside lane, that black and green car. You got Drift there on the outside in the 4 car. Roger Rios Matias in that Superior templating number 21. And before I forget, shall I mention that the stage winner of Quentin Clark, stage winner presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. So big shout out to Scott Wise and Wise Guy iRacing Graphics for their contributions to the Masters of the Draft series presented by Bet to Track. Look at the 25 there behind him. Remember, he started on pit road along with Roger. That is the 25 of Al Likens in the Terry Labonte Kellogg's throwback. Up here battling for the lead. Of course, Al's had plenty of great races. Just unfortunately, it seems like not able to put them all together. As here comes Drift to the bottom. like they all get kind of spread out. And then with the draft, it all just brings them all back together. Of course, they got plenty of track to use, plenty of banking, plenty of grooves around this 3-mile oval. As Pickle Simmer actually just ran the fastest lap of the race. First one to hit 49 seconds, 49.95. And speed's well over 200 miles an hour here. Laps to go here in the stage. Look at that 9 car on the top side. Sam Taylor also started this race on pit road. He's got the Hooters paint scheme, that orange and black paint scheme. Unfortunately, Hooters is hearing from it right now from Hendrick Motorsports after they pulled their sponsorship of the 9 car mid-season last year. To see how much these guys have learned, as you got 18 cars now in this lead draft. We've got 4 cars out of the draft, and the 3 of those 4 were actually involved in that accident. And then Tim Shiflett obviously came to pit road there as they were coming to the green flag. So obviously Tim's a couple laps down there. Mike is way up the track with Roger. As Drift doing a great job leading laps here. Likens moves down in front of Condon back there. You see Gilbert hanging out with the 34 of Tommy Rogers back there with him. Oh, trouble! Pickle Simmer and the Likens, and who just absolutely mollywops the wall. And this is kind of going to be a big one. Likens involved, the 47 of Brian Hayes. Roaldi gets more damage. And Greg Thompson involved, as Dylan Picklesimmer unfortunately gets heavy damage, and that brings out the second caution here on lap number 24. Let's see how this all starts up as they go to turn 1. Oh, Dylan got loose. Roger Rios Matias loses his front end. 47 goes spinning in front of air. Did Melnick miss that? How did Melnick miss that? Very interesting here. Right up in the middle of the track. The 12s is going to come around. When it is your night, it is your night. And I say that from this vantage point right here. Let's go on board with the one of Stephen Melnick here. Darkwing Duck had his eyes closed for this one. Oh, 28 even goes around. Zing! Where there he goes. And he's still missing. Was there virtual oil on the track potentially? I mean, everybody would. I mean, you had Pickle Simmer lose the back end. You had Jason Branch lose the back end. He's in the corner. He's okay here. And back second, just swaps ends. Hard one to explain there, unfortunately. And you kind of heard Quentin Clark make mention that you had to be careful because the car would do something like that, and boy, did it. That's caution out here for the second time. Drift and Clark stay out as Andrew Moore is going to be the first one off pit road. Followed by Tommy Rogers and Stephen Melnick and Rios Matias and Ryan Wilson now. A lot of cars either getting damage fixed or using this as a bathroom break or whatever to get their cars fixed up. We're going to take this opportunity to throw some shout outs out really quickly. Starting with 40 Racewear, who Jim Herrick and those guys have a great deal going on. 40 Racewear, of course, a little bit of a Black Friday special going on right now that you can enjoy at through December 1st. You can gear up for the winter racing season with huge savings on everything for 40 Racewear. Make sure you go check out the Black Friday sale there at 40 Racewear. Pretty good deal there. And also at MC Racing, of course, downtown here in the Fort Wayne area. Always supporting us there on the screens. We appreciate what Mark does to help support the sim racing community. And as I said before, if you ever happen to be coming through the Fort Wayne area, make sure you jump in and check out MC Racing there in downtown. I say that, one, because it's an awesome place to go. But two, there are plenty of racing events. And oh, by the way, does anybody know about the indoor racing event that happens in Fort Wayne every December? If you're from up here, you know the answer. I know it because I'm a racing fan. But they have an event called the Fort Wayne Rumble. It is a quarter midget race at the Coliseum on an asphalt track. It's an indoor race on an asphalt track. So it's like the Chili Bowl on asphalt, per se. Pretty cool deal there. So if you get a chance, get some tickets to that and go race at MC Racing. Just throwing it out there. All right. Should get one to go next time by, so we'll get the green with 6 laps to go. Still going to need at least one more stop to get to the end of this race on fuel. Quentin Clark doing a good job to maintain his track position tonight. Drift, I think, has led the most laps. Tommy Rogers in at 34, having a good run here. Andrew Moore down there at the bottom. The Weiss Markets 77 car. Then you got Melnick back there in the 1 car. You hope he didn't use his luck on missing that wreck. I mean, you can tell Darkwing, he can open his eyes up now. James Hudson, he was involved in that wreck a few laps ago, and here he is back up in the 7th position. Greg Thompson's led some laps there in the 08 car. As everybody will come to the line, a reminder that they are not allowed to change lanes as they come to the green. So one thing you'll All he's noticed, everybody kind of keeps it organized all the way through the start-finish line. That caution, a big break for Scott Wise, who will be able to join back in the pack to get back on the get back in the lead draft. As here we go, pace car. Pulling in as we go back to green at lap number 29. Packed house. As look at Likens go all the way down to the apron almost to make moves. And you see how wide, how long this track is. Turn 4. Run coming from Tommy Rogers there as you see cars moving around, just trying to get whatever positions they can get, taking whatever drafts they can get, and making moves with it. Ryan Wilson back there, the 23 car. As I'm noticing in this race, just from the learning on my end, is you haven't seen much of the handling at all in this car. Which I say that, and of course the last caution came out from a spin. A self-spin, actually. I'm sure that was something that kind of spooked the other drivers in this race. I look over the track temp right now at 80 degrees. So track temp really not that warm. I mean, the sun is out. Just kind of surprised to see what I saw there a few moments ago. Front 5 single file right now, first side-by-sides back at 6, where Wilson is now 3 wide with Melnick and the 9 up top there. However, Taylor is 1 lap down, and he's going to try to get this lap back the hard way. Back here, you see Shane Ward trying to help his teammate out. Gilbert there, you see Likens trying to follow them through. Scott Wise trying to help out Greg Thompson as these guys trying to work their way back to the front there. The two behind them of Hudson, our pole sitter Branch also in there. I mean, if you're on the lead lap, you could get up there and win this stage potentially. Oh, 34 getting loose as he's gonna go around and take a couple of cars out and get absolutely blasted. Shane Ward with damage for a second time. And once again, a car in the middle groove getting loose. And that is going to put an end to stage number 2. And boom goes the dynamite. There goes the motor. We'll show the replay here in just a moment, but Quentin Clark is going to end up sweeping the stages here in very impressive fashion. So, very interesting. I'm kind of curious. Is this something where the right rear tire maybe is getting too hot and it's getting loose? Is it something with the middle groove potentially getting the back end loose? Or, I mean, I'm kind of curious to see what's going on here. We get back to it, but first we have to show off of turn 4, and you're going to see pit stops here from those who are going to give up stage points, if anybody's going to. As Quentin Clark will sweep the stages here. Drift, Ryan Wilson, Andrew Moore, Joe Wells, Roger Rios, Matias, Stephen Melnick, Travis Gilbert, James Hudson, and, well, whoever's the first off pit road, basically, in this group is going to be, well, no, I guess not. It'd been whoever crossed the start-finish line, so I'm guessing Greg Thompson? Well, 10th place is random right now. We'll have to see. We can find out. That's the great news here. Who was the first one to cross the line here, basically, will be who it is. Yeah, it looks like Greg Thompson. Be the 10th car to get the bonus points there, but for Quentin, he gets a sweep of the stages here. And that is presented by Wise Guy iRacing Graphics. Congratulations to Quentin on getting his second stage here of the night and of the season here in race number 2. Hello to the viewers. Appreciate everybody watching here tonight, from iRacing replay videos to Super Shafty to Drift King, of course. Drift in there watching, as always, saying hello. Robert Andrews, Demetrius Dixon watching, sharing on, let's see who JLB is. Jason Branch, maybe? That's the only JB I know. Let's see, and Skywing watching. Hello, welcome in. Yes, glad you're watching the stream also. So none of these cars are going to be able to pit now, as they missed the opportunity to pit there when the pits are open. But let's go back now to the replay. And let's watch Tommy here, because this is very interesting. That's when he blew the motor, so let's go back a little bit further here. Because unlike the last situation, he's, let's see, drifts up the track. And right there, you see the back end slowly comes around. And he gets clobbered by somebody. Shane Ward gets damaged, and whoever that, I think that's the 47 maybe? Brian Hayes. I mean, I don't have a clue what is causing. Well, let's see here, because I want to look at this one more time. From, this is in the corner. Oh, that's from Shane Ward. Ooh, T-bone steak for you. A little baffled on this one, boys and girls. Might be something to keep an eye on here is during the... Ooh, the pace car going off a little slidey there. So we come to the green flag at lap 36. Something that I mean, maybe you can watch is 5 to 6 laps into a run, what the car does. 'Cause I wonder if that's maybe what's happening here is maybe the right rear or something's getting too hot. And, you know, as it slides up the track, back end gets kind of light and spins it around. Who knows? Could be the car behind him just getting air off the rear. Who knows? Anything could be the answer. Clark leads them. As they come up in the lap car of Tommy Rogers, Griff goes back to the inside to the lead with Wilson and Travis Gilbert, who is passing cars left and right on this restart. I mean, runs just come so quickly here in this car, and you got to take it, whatever you can get. Because you blip the throttle or trace the brake a little bit there, you're just going to lose all the momentum. And again, next week we take the week off from all racing. As a matter of fact, here on the Captain Esports Network, well, all 3 series will be off next week for the Thanksgiving holiday, which is ironic. Or actually, is it week 12 next week? I think week 13 is the following week. But we'll be back on December 3rd for this series from the 2008 Daytona track, the bumpy track, if you will, in these 87 cars, which will be very interesting watching them go 210 miles an hour on the bumpy track, and bam, the 42 getting into the 22, giving them a bump down the straightaway. As AJ Condon coming into play for the first time. There's Scott Wise now coming into play. Guys wanting to lead laps here is 14 cars now in this lead pack. 4 wide as Al Likens comes up the middle. Wondering how much pushing you can do, and then I saw the incident early in this race with Branch and Joe Wells, who tried to help Joe out there. Branch did, trying to get into the corner, and unfortunately Joe's car got upset and lost the first caution of the night. Joe's hanging out right now in the 8th position. I say hanging out in the middle of this pack. I don't know if there's such thing right now as hanging out, as yeah, they're 4 wide, so much for hanging out, right? Yes, Melnick making moves. We ride with AJ Condon. Let's take a look at some speeds here. 217, 218 into turn 3. Out of the gas there for a split second. I mean, that could be simply what's causing the rear end to go around, is people carrying too much speed in the middle of the corner. Remember, this car didn't have the downforce that the trucks have, or the cup cars, or anything like that. They only sit a few inches off the ground, so there's air going underneath the car. Very good. Okay. Thanks, Demetrius. As look at this, for the first time tonight, the superior templating number 21 car going to try to grab the lead, as Pickle Simmer has unlapped himself and put himself in the back on the lead lap the hard way here, as he's at the front of this line right now. 6 laps to go. It would have been a very fun iRacing Superspeedway race for these guys in the 87's. The first time I've ever seen this combo. And these guys have put on a wild show here. It seems like the runs are just coming every second from different angles. The 12 chops off the one there. I don't think he was too happy with the way the one drove into the corner there of Melnick. All right, so about this point forward, we got to keep an eye on some of these lead lap cars and what their back end does. I mean, both of them looked awfully familiar. It looked like they came from the bottom line up a little bit, went to turn the car back down, and both back ends just came around. So it's going to be interesting to see how this works out. Your dad paid you to say that, did he? Ooh, up the track, Greg Thompson. And was it Quentin Clark, the other car? So Clark, who swept both stages, unfortunately, is in the outside wall along with the 08. We stayed green, but both cars with damage. I saw them get together going into the corner. Not sure what took place. Clark getting up behind the 08 here as he gets to the top side of here to try to make the pass going into the corner. Oh, 23 Wilson gets tight and slides the 08 up into the 42. And both of them with heavy damages, and it looks like a meatball for both of them, as they'll have to come to pit road and really quickly try to use the reset if they haven't used one here and get back out there and likely have to work together here a little bit. Right on board with Drift here, second position. I'm sorry, leading this race with Al Likens, who's a lap car in front of him. But Drift has led the most laps here tonight. As you see the 42 leave pit road, he's going to need a caution to get back on the lead lap. They're trying to get his 34 getting loose again as he into 22 had some argy-bargy. And around he goes. There's your caution. Tommy Rogers and Travis Gilbert fighting for positions over in turn one here, and unfortunately they have a little getting together, and the 34 unfortunately just loses the back end of it. Right there, little contact maybe. Oh, look out, and Roaldi gets involved again in a wreck. Eddie asked me earlier tonight, hey, how do you go to victory lane here? Eddie, this is not how you go to victory lane. As caution waves for the fourth time here. Yeah, I wish I had the cost and the benefits to be able to give you a second person, guys. Trust me. I appreciate the kind words, though. But then again, it makes it fun being a one-man show. But it wouldn't be it wouldn't be worth it. It wasn't for viewers and racers and leagues and stuff that enjoy the commentary and stuff and all the hard work that goes behind it, from the timing and scoring to the commitment and research and all that good stuff. The mollywopping of the wall, yes. And for those who believe, who do not know this, I've learned this once myself. That is actually the correct term. How they hit the wall like that. I'll look up the word really quickly here. Mollywop. In the Urban Dictionary. Well, that's a different way. Okay. In the Urban Dictionary, it's not what I thought I read, but I could have swore it said something, hitting something in the head. But this is, All right, so I'm going to clean it up really quickly here, but basically it just says to swing an arm back and hit someone in the face with a fist. There's a lot of lingo in the middle of that. Let's just put it like that. Mollywop for everybody. I thought it had something to do with hitting somebody in the head or going head first into something, but apparently, I'll let you guys look it up in the on the Urban Dictionary online, so I don't have to say it out loud. I don't need Lauren chasing me. She's probably looking up the word right now as we speak. All right, so we had some pit stops here. As Drift wins the race off pit road with Andrew Moore, Roger Rios Matias, Stephen Melnick, Joe Wells, and others coming off pit road here. Cars getting damaged, fixed up, or whatever they got to do during this time period. Branch getting some damage fixed. Scott Wise. Al Likens, who's back on the lead lap now in the 25 car. The 34 is rolling back out with a hunk of junk. And you never know what you're going to run into on a Captain Esports Network broadcast. You never know. Looks like pace car getting ready to let the field go here as they roll into turn 2 with 18 laps to go next time by. One more race left in the week, and that'll be tomorrow night from Road America. Gonna do a road race tomorrow night. And then after that, we'll be off until a week from Monday. So we get, what, 1, 2, 3. It's a carry the one. It's like 10 days off, I think. I get a little mini vacation for Thanksgiving. But then the real fun gets going, not only for myself, but for everyone. As, of course, we get into the holiday time of the year. And for me, I become, quote-unquote, Santa Claus. As I start delivering packages to everybody for a month, and so it's going to get fun. So, I'm looking forward to doing some streams during that. All right, see if Drift can get himself a victory here tonight. 18 laps to go. He, Andrew Moore, Roger Rios Matias, Joe Wells, Stephen Melnick. Your top 5 is, Tommy Rogers in the outside wall again back there. And caution's going to come right back out. I looked up and saw the 34. And I wonder if he just locked the brakes up here or something. Let's see. As everybody's trying to get caught up to the field here. As we're coming to the green, and oh, look out! He almost said, I think the 08 threw a banana peel out potentially here, and the 34 catches it, goes around. Everybody's gonna re-rack them. Well, this is gonna give us an opportunity to talk to some more people. Let's get a driver here. A green shell. Oh, that changes things. But the green shell goes forward. You can't shoot the shell backwards. You gotta remember that. It goes forward. So that's a banana peel that goes backwards. Guys, I remember the Mario Kart stuff here. Red shell goes for the leader. Well, actually, the blue shell does now, I think. Green shell goes just out there somewhere. The yellow banana falls straight back. What? That's interesting. Skywing was some insight for me in the Super Mario Kart Deluxe. We're having too much fun over here. Let's see, who do we want to talk to here? Let's, I would try to get Drift, but Drift doesn't talk. I've gotten him to talk one time on the stream. Ever. So let's, Melnick's muted. See, Branch knows how it works. You know what? Let's talk to... Let's talk to Ryan Wilson. Let's bring up Ryan here in the 23 car. As usual, I catch somebody in mid-conversation. Hello, Ryan. Good. Having a pretty interesting run here so far. You've run up there in the top 10 most of this evening, getting some stage points, I believe, there at the end of stage 2. But talk about what you've seen so far out here. Obviously, yeah. Well, let me do something here really quickly because I just caught myself as my usual error, as we can't hear you talking. But yeah, let's try that again. Basically, yeah. Sometimes I turn that mic button off and I just don't know why. But either way, man, talk. The racing obviously has been wild. You talked about the little incident a little bit ago. But I'm looking at your hands right now from inside the steering wheel. It looks like you're holding that wheel like it's the old crap bar.
Oh yeah, I mean, you definitely, this ain't a one-hand track, so you know, these guys was running around, had marbles in the mouth, I'm sure, but I'm gonna tell you what, I don't think I'd be man enough to do that.
Well, you know, those old throwbacks of like a Dick Trickle or a let's see, I'm trying to think who else back in the old heyday would have a dart in their mouth while they're out there racing hard. But could you imagine if you had a track like this at 3 miles long and 40 degrees of banking, driving a car like this out there?
Man, it would be amazing. I would love to have that experience. But, you know, just make sure these things don't wash up on you and you get caught up in an incident. Just trying to keep her clean and save up enough for a little end of the race run, I hope, if I can fend off at 22.
The only question I have left here before I let you go, because I know you're coming to the green here, do you see what could be causing the car? I noticed that the self spins tonight have been right about the middle of the track in the middle groove. Is there any kind of trend to that, or is that just luck?
I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with dirty air on these things too. I mean, if you just ride a guy's bumper just right, I mean, you can turn them without even touching them, and it's interesting. Let's say.
All right, buddy. Well, hey, best of luck and worse your way up to the front.
I'm gonna try it, sir.
Attaboy. Ryan Wilson, appreciate his time as always. And now I'm going to go. We're trying to remember what channel he's in. I believe he's down there in the R&R team, so we'll get him down there and let him get some R&R to victory lane potentially here. As here we come to the green, 15 laps to go. 34 is not in the race anymore. Tommy Rogers taking his car behind the wall. Jason Branch behind the wall. It looks like Eddie Rowody, Sam Taylor, and others, as Derek Jacobs also is not started the race along with Tony Deakins. Drift leads him back to the green. Roger Rios-Matias gets a pretty good jump as these cars roar up to speed. And 15 laps to go. And here comes Travis Gilbert up the middle. Unfortunately, Wilson just got shuffled out. It looks like the 5 of Condon going to go by. And look back here on the lead lap now in that 42 car. Quentin Clark, the 2 stage winners. The winner of both stages. There's the words. If I could speak some English tonight, it'd be awesome. As Scott Wise gets up there to the wall a little bit. And Drift with issues. And off the pace goes the guy who's led the most laps here tonight. And he might just lose the draft now, too. As Stephen Melnick to the lead. Somebody apparently blue turtled the 4 car. He's already loose here. It happened to Drift going in the corner here. He has 21 on his tail. Oh, Drift lost the back end. Great save, and there's a reason why he's called Drift, by the way. Not just a random nickname. He is good at drifting a car if needed to save it. Is AJ Condon going to get up front for the first time? Oh, Melnick up into Gilbert, up into Quentin Clark. More cars contact. This is never a good view right here. You see the whole pack going flying on by. The 2 of James Hudson in there as Rios-Matias catches the apron back there in the 21. He's still trying to catch her. Gilbert thought about giving a bump to that 5 and checked up just enough to still giving that push. It is. Here comes Clark. Here comes Pickle Simmer, who's back on the lead lap now. Everybody juking and jiving and jossing and jamming and any other word that starts with a J I can think of. Junking. Let's hope that one doesn't come to play. As here comes Shane Ward. I think he's on his 5th car tonight. Bringing Greg Thompson with him to the front. So laps countdown, 11 to go. Appreciate all the viewers hanging out here tonight. If you're new to the chat, hit that subscribe button. Of course, you can join us Monday through Wednesday nights for racing here on the Captain eSports Network. hopefully everybody has a safe and happy holiday week next week as we get into that time of the year. As we go 5 wide into turn 3. Simmer down, boys. Down to 3. Great driving by everybody to get out of that. I was like, uh-oh, this might not work. Oh, they might try it again here. As Al Likens, who was just a lap down, he's back on the lead lap into the lead. Is there anybody in this race who has not led a lap? And Likens even going to lead that lap. Gilbert leads it. Oh, and it shuts the door on the 25. Oh. Going to throw this out there. I'm not sure a 225 mile an hour block is a good idea. Ooh, Wilson caught the apron there a little bit, got loose. Good save, and oh, Pickle Simmer goes around and brings the caution out. You know, he saves the car. Uh-oh, this race has got interesting. Didn't see if Dylan got some help or not here. That's the corner once again. Oh, yep, then it back into Schwab's ends again. And once again up there towards that middle groove. It might have something to do with that landing. And what they mean by landing is when the car enters the corner as it suppresses at the middle with the G-forces. They call that landing right there. But you know what? It seems like it happens way after the landing. So I don't know if it's just... Maybe it's the speed mid-corner that could be causing the back end to get light. But a great save by the 12. And we've got some fakeroos to pit road. Caution out here for the 6th time now, officially, in this Vet to Track Masters of the Draft Series, which is presented by Vet to Track. Their mission to help veterans find an outlet through motorcycle racing or riding on a specialized track. And a big shout out to Vet to Track for all the hard work they do, and of course, supporting this Masters of the Draft Series. Other sponsors this season, of course, Vivid EV for electronic vehicles, golf carts, and so on and so forth. Appreciate their help here in this series. Of course, Wise Guy iRacing Graphics, Superior Templating. All sponsors here in the series this season. As next week we're off for the holiday, and then we return December 3rd from the old school Daytona International Speedway virtually on iRacing, and another 200-mile race there in the 87's. It will finish up at Talladega before we hit an all-star race in a super late model car, which will lead us into the Christmas season. And we'll be back in 2025 with set 4 of the series, which is the Xfinity cars will be here for 4 races. So obviously 87's for another 3 weeks. then the Xfinity cars, and then we get into the Gen 4 and Gen 6 eras. Going to get the green with 5 laps to go. Al Likens up front. Greg Thompson, Ryan Wilson, Shane Ward, Tim Shiflett back in the top 5. Shiflett was a couple laps down, I think, at one point in this race in the 54 car. Good to see him up front. And this will be the last series you actually see here on the Captain Esports Network before we shut it all down in April. Of course, we wrapped up our first series Thursday night. Big shout out to Casey Carrington for what he does. And then our Monday and Wednesday series will have their final races right before the holiday, right before Christmas. And then after that, it'll be just this series here on Tuesday nights as we pull the plug and walk away and make some changes in life. But looking forward to hanging out. Still got plenty of broadcasts to go. And looking forward to the fun as we get ready to go green with, again, 5 laps to go. As here comes Al to bring him to the green flag. 5 laps to go into the restart zone. Up through the gears. $1 million question. Can they make it 5 laps? Yeah, sorry, bud. Hey, you know what? Let's enjoy it and be grateful we got what we got, my friend. I'm grateful to have you here, buddy. As here we go, 4 wide already. Anywhere else to go as they spread out? Looks like a restart at Pocono. Unfortunately here, you're going to have to lift a little bit, but if you lift too much, you're going to lose. As Andrew Moore is going to lead this lap, I think. Oh, Scott Wise going to get turned. Ooh, into the wall he goes. And caution out again. And for those who said no, we would not make it to the finish in their heads, you can now go get a free bowl of ice cream from your refrigerator. Let's see what happens. Oh, Wilson gets in there, and unfortunately, let me get that different angle here really quickly. Let's get over here to the 23 of Wilson. You have contact with Likens. No, it's just one of those deals where I think Wilson was just too low with Likens there, and as you know, when you're that far low, Ryan doesn't turn the car in, pushes up, and unfortunately gets into the 31. And he's got some heavy damage too on the 23. But this just a tough spot that Ryan was in here. If Ryan's got the 25, he's going to go to his bottom here. And he can't turn in on him, so he's got to turn in late, and it causes him to slide up into Scott. Scott just wrong place, wrong time. Maybe. Yeah, it looks like we are, because we're 3 to go right now. And we'd have to get, yeah, we'd have to get 1 to go this time by. So it looks like we are going to overtime. 1 of 2 restarts in overtime. And we got some cars. Are they coming to pit road to top off the fuel cell here, I think? That's exactly what I think's happening here. I mean, do you dare use a set of tires? Greg Thompson going through 160 pit stalls here. Looks like everybody's taking fuel and tires here for this restart. I wonder if this is going to give them some kind of advantage. We'll have to keep an eye on this. As Ward will win the race off pit road with Sean Thompson going to come off second. So, interessante here. Yeah, we'll get 1 to go next time by, so... I hope everybody's enjoyed the race here so far. 17 viewers, looking pretty solid here on a Tuesday night. Dropping my phone here as I go to pick it up for a second. Getting ready to go to the green. Again, for those who don't know how this works, green flag comes out. They get back to the line. White flag comes out. We go to the checkered flag. And, of course, when the white comes out, there is no more cautions at that point. Everybody's racing to the finish. We'll come to the green. Can Andrew Moore get himself a win here? Travis Gilbert's been very aggressive up there in the 22. The G Lightning guys have worked very well together. Is it their night? Will we see an upset? Can Quentin Clark go 2 for 2 in the 87 car? He's up there in the outside lane. And can we get back to the white flag here in moments? Flag waves, here we go. Clark going to get the run in the outside lane. Pickle Simmer slides up in front of the 22. 77 slides up. As Pickle Simmer to the lead. As they come off turn 4, a little bit of door banging going on as I think they're going to make it to the white flag. Here we go, final lap. All bets are off. There are 16 cars in the lead pack. 16 cars could win this thing. Great run by the 42, a block throw by the 12. 22 going side by side with Melnick to his inside. Here comes Joe Wells into play. Oh, and there goes the 12. As a drag race and more cars wrecking, one car up and over. Oh my gosh. As a drag race to the line, Gilbert. Gilbert wins. And Wells ends up second and 1-2 for the G Lightning team again. And Roger Rios Matias into 21. Might need more than help. And there goes that guy. Oh, and that, wow. Tommy Rogers has cleared Joe Wells out. I think that was Tommy. Maybe it wasn't Tommy. It was somebody else. Sorry. As Travis Gilbert wins, and he celebrates with a Polish victory lap. Watch how everything transpires here. Mark just trying to help the 12. Unfortunately, 12 goes around. They end up wrecked. If we are to send some virtual prayers tonight, it's going to have to go to the 21 car of Roger. This is... I mean, not only does this car get blown over, but the front end of it clips the tire barrier at the end of pit road. He gets loose though, and then Andrew gets in him, and there goes the car. And oh, never! Oh my gosh! Oprah Winfrey, Tom Cruise. I mean, that's a long trip. Look down there at the end of pit wall's way over there. Alrighty then. Well then. Alright. Let's recap the race here. So we take a look at the finishing results. From a wild one at iRacing Superspeedways, Gilbert gets to win. Joel second. Stephen Melnick gets the top 3. Al Likens fourth, and Drift ends up with a top 5. Shane Ward 6th, Greg Thompson 7th, Ryan Wilson 8th, Brady Karowski 9th, and Brian Hayes comes back to a top 10. Andrew Moore 11th, Tim Shiflett 12th, Dylan Picklesimmer 13th, Quentin Clark 14th, Scott Wise gets a top 15 finish. Roger Rios Matias in 16th, AJ Condon 17th, Tommy Rogers, James Hudson, and Eddie Rowody. Jason Branch, Sam Taylor. Here, 22 finishers. Tony Deakins, Derek Jacobs did not make the start of the race here this evening, as we will talk to the 3 drivers that finished in the top 3 this evening. We'll start with the XTI number 1 car that might have just had the biggest miss save I've seen in a very long time. Very Leslie Law-like from another series, as Melnick pretty much shut his eye. So did Darkwing Duck when he missed that wreck. But you come back to get a top 3 finish here tonight, man. Congratulations.
Hey, man, thank you. I appreciate it very much.
Obviously, the race was wild in itself, and just a lot of runs, and everybody just trying to make moves, doing what they can do to get whatever position they can get. And you're able to fight your way there.
Yeah, I mean, start off with, like, I had a start penalty from a previous race, so ended up a lap down to start with, got the lucky dog, and kind of ran the top 10 most of the rest of the night. Looked like Barry Sanders threading the needle there through a bunch of tacklers, and on that one wreck.
Nobody knows who he is. He's too old now.
Oh, okay. Who do we got now? They don't use running backs nowadays. What am I supposed to say?
Go ahead.
I look like Tyreek Hill running through a bunch of... yeah, there we go. But, yeah, I mean, I was just want to come out here with a clean race. Being a kind of a single car team at this point, do that everybody else dropping. Really don't have any friends out there, so just trying to hang on there and come out. Luckily, it didn't get collected by the 12 there when he spun, and ended up with top 3 actually.
So true or false, you had your eyes closed when you missed that wreck?
Oh, I had them open through the first part. Then when the other cars started coming down, I think I started closing them.
Obviously, a great run, man. Send some shouts here, like to.
I'd like to thank, first of all, my wife. She works so hard so I can be able to do this on a weekly basis. Both my kids take time away from their schedule, so you know how that is. Yep. To come out here and race at Tuesday nights, Thursday nights. We've been on a bunch of races with you guys. And to you, you, Scott Wise, for hosting this race, putting on this league, which is a fun league to run in. 87 car is not my favorite car, but hey, I mean, I'll take it, man. But yeah, once again, shout out to all the guys out here racing, and I mean, for the most part, it was a clean race. Most of the stuff was just, I think cars just getting loose with dirty air, like somebody up too close behind them on the quarter panel, something like that. It seemed like, and there was nobody running over each other.
Yeah, it's a good thing there, but still a pretty wild race. I'm actually going back to look for that caution here, so you just went whipping it through there.
Well, I missed the 28 car. The 28 car spun in the corner. I went to avoid him, and by the time I got off the corner, there was a bunch of guys wrecking in front of me. I have no idea. Like, I was like, okay, I cleared the 28. Then I come around the corner, and it's like, oh my gosh, there's like cars everywhere.
It worked out there. Well, hey, great job, man. Congratulations on finishing in the top 3, and we will see you soon.
All right, man. I appreciate it, Chris.
You
Take
too,
care.
buddy. Yes, sir. Stephen Melnick, 3rd place finisher here this evening. Let's I'm gonna find it for Rick real quickly here. That he is that we were talking about, that he misses, and how he did some of this stuff tonight's amazing. It was definitely early in the race, so I must have missed it here. Yes, it was Joel's crash. Here it is. Let's ride here. Watch this with Melnick. He's right here. One car. And this, for you, if you haven't seen this is a Code Brown moment for the one. Okay, that wasn't it either. All right, my producer's fired. I know it was the 12 car that spawned in the end. Was this it? Oh, here we go. Watch this. Yikes! Oh my gosh. Hey, he had to miss another car. Alright, somebody cue the sounder.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Hello there.
Second place, Joe Wells comes from behind after getting yeeted by the 28 car earlier in the race. Just trying to help you out, and unfortunately sent you packing, so you guys kind of hung out there the rest of the race. And, well, my gosh, you blink, and here you are finishing second with your teammate in front of you again.
Yeah, it seems to. I mean, we seem to be pretty consistent in that matter. I mean, I think with the wreck that I had, I don't think it was really so much James's fault. Is we were what 5 wide coming to the line and trying to go for the stage points, and I got out front, and yeah, I think I had too much momentum, too low, and yeah, it just didn't work out well for me. I put myself in that spot, so I'm not obviously. I don't think it's his fault by any means. So. But yeah, I mean, worked out great at the end of the day. I can't believe I was able to pull it to second place. I puckered one too many times, to say the least, throughout the race. So I'm very lucky to even be finishing the race.
Well, obviously it was a tough one out there. It just seemed like the runs came out of everywhere with this car, and it was so hard to predict, but it made it look a lot of fun on the outside. I can only imagine how it was on the inside.
Yeah, I mean, the outside it works with like the first 3 laps of a run, but I mean, for me, I like the inside always. I mean, if y'all have watched however many races, 12 races, 10 races that we've done, I've probably ran 90% of every single race on the inside line for good reason. So worked out well for me today. I really like the runs you can develop into the turn here and slingshot out. So that definitely helped me go from, I think, like 6th to 2nd on the last turn. So yeah, honestly, it went better than I anticipated, even though it was worse than last week.
Obviously, still a tough race to be able to come back and get you guys a 1-2 finish. Obviously, the team has been dominant, as you guys got now, 6 wins in the first 10 races of the season.
Jeez, when you put it like that. Yeah, I mean, G Lightning Motors is doing a great job. Travis is kicking ass as well, kicking butt. Sorry, Lauren, as well. All the other G Lightning guys. Shane's been doing a fantastic job. Krishan, AJ, Eddie, Brady. Crap, who else am I forgetting here? I'm gonna feel so terrible. Help me out here. Come on, Chris.
Honestly, Brady. You got who's the guy?
I think I got them all.
Who's the guy that don't show up anymore? Krishan. You got.
No, I think I got everyone.
Oh,
so yeah, no, I got everyone. So big shout out to those guys at G Lightning Motors. I mean, as a team, I'm really happy what we've accomplished, and you know, really look forward to seeing what else we can do here on the back half of the season, essentially. So.
Well, great job today, man, and obviously congratulations, and send some shout outs whoever you like to.
Yeah, congratulations on the win, Travis. Good job there, man. Again, big shout out to everybody in G Lightning Motors. Big shout out to Bruce Setman Custom Carts. If you're in the Delaware area, I highly recommend you go over there and pick yourself up a Vivid EV, preferably the Anthem series. But big shout out to Vivid EV. Shout out to Front Stretch, Derek over at Front Stretch, Jake over at Lone Wolf. Got a lot of friends and family watching as well. I know Tom's out there watching. I think Joe's out there watching as well. Different Joe. Maybe even John might be watching, and Kaiser. All of you guys. I know you guys are all watching. If I'm forgetting, I apologize. But thank you guys for everything. Thank you, Chris, for putting on a fantastic broadcast. You know, I'm really sad you're going to be leaving at the end of the season. I know this is my first season with you as a broadcaster, so I've enjoyed every moment, every week so far with you calling our races. So thank you again for your hard work. And then, as always, I mean, Lauren and Scott for everything that they're doing. I think throughout these first, again, I think we're 10 races in. Throughout the first 10 races, they've done a phenomenal job of improving the league. consistently over the course of the 10 weeks. So I think by the time we get past Thanksgiving break, I'm really excited to see how everything shakes out.
Obviously, great job tonight. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you, man. Appreciate you. Have a good night.
You too, bud. Joe Wells finishing in the second position here this evening. Is obviously very happy with his G Lightning Motors team. And the guy that has picked up his 4th win of the season, Travis Gilbert, of course, showing that speed here tonight. A lot of aggressive moves, but do what you had to do to get to the front. And you did it again here tonight and get another win.
Yes, sir. How's it going?
We're good, man. We're good. Obviously, a big race for you here tonight. And obviously, we always know you're a good one to watch on the super speedways, but going from 12th to 2nd in one lap on the start of the race, I think we knew it was a Gilbert type of night.
Yeah, though, it's funny you say that because last week was a Gilbert type of, night, and I didn't win, So tonight, I didn't feel like I had the dominant car. However, I can work traffic pretty good and navigate the runs. And honestly, there's iRacing, Superspeedway. I don't know how many people used to play with the car toy sets back in the day, and you build the ones with the high banks and the long straightaways, and they do the slingshots. That's what this reminds me of. So I'm gonna go back and watch the broadcast, but I'm sure we were probably 4, 5, 7 wide some points at this race. So it was really hard to control the race, and luckily I finished with 1 race car. I never had to use my fast repairs, so that was a good thing. Avoided most of the chaos, and somehow I don't know how much we won by, but I know it's pretty close.
Yeah, it was a pretty close battle. Almost every stage, except for the second one, obviously, was under caution. But every stage, and then, of course, the finish of that race coming down to literally inches to get to the start-finish line. But 4 wins and 10 starts here so far this season. Obviously, I was just mentioning to Joe, you guys got 6 wins as a team. But to be able to get 4 wins here pretty early, it's got to be pretty impressive and something to be proud of.
Yeah, I really appreciate the G Lightning Motors. They're a really good group of guys. AJ Condon, Shane Ward, Eddie, Brady, Krishan, and then Joe. We all were trying to help each other every week. And these 87s make it hard because you can't, like, the next gen cars get right up and push somebody. It's not really good post pack racing where I almost turned our teammate Eddie, the 33, trying to push him just a little bit. And I wasn't even trying to give him a big bump. I was just trying to help him along a little bit before we got to the corner in turn 3, and I about turned him sideways. And I was at that point, I was in my mind, I was like, if I got to run, I'm pretty much gonna take it. I'm not gonna turn nobody, trying to give him a nice solid bump draft like you would in the next gen cars. So, and then I think everybody else kind of had that same slingshot mentality, which hopefully it made for a good race for the broadcast and all the fans. And I know it was fun from my perspective. You never knew who was going to lead whoever led the lap going off into the corner, even coming out of turn 4, wasn't necessarily the person that was going to lead it, at the start finish line. So that has to be pretty exciting for everybody.
Oh yeah, that's what I was trying to figure out throughout the race, was like, when do you start to make that run? It almost seemed like you had that time to potentially, if you could get through the corner to shoot up that straightaway, you might be able to make the move at the start finish line. But it was definitely a tricky one to see. But man, great job tonight, and send some shout outs to whoever you like to.
Yeah, thank you guys over here at Captain eSports Network. I know that it's you're a busy man doing cool things, and your retirement over here, so appreciate you. Always going back and seeing the broadcast. Of course, the NASCAR VR guys, Scott Wise, Warren Wise, for everything they do. Everybody who pitches in and spends money to help make this happen. With that being said, the VettaTrack sponsored car in the VettaTrack Victory Lane with the VettaTrack Superspeedway Master of the Draft Series. That's a mouthful. However, VettaTrack is out there trying to do good things for the veterans of this country, so we're out here trying to, make sure they get the recognition that they deserve, and trying to push some traffic their way. So if you can, take a moment and go visit www.vettatrack.org. They're a great organization. I look forward to maybe hosting another charity race for them, seeing if we can get some more veterans on the racetrack and the pit crews throughout the 2025 season, and see what happens. And with that being said, the GLM team, I already said them, they're a great team. I appreciate them. Joe coming back for a second place finish, this week with the 87s, it's not really playing on working with your team too much, in my opinion, from what I could tell. Every time you try to, the cars don't really allow you to with the draft and stuff. Daytona was different, that was, you got to really take care of your car, back up. Here in this corner, you had to really watch out, or in this track, you had to really watch out for the car getting loose side corner entry. And then if you were on the outside, the guys on your inside missed the corner, and then I got put into a wall and lost a couple of stage points there, stage situations because of it. So I made sure at the end of the race that I wanted to be in control at that point because I didn't want someone else to determine my fate first.
It definitely worked out, man. Well, great job, and congratulations on getting the win, and obviously you'll celebrate that. Happy Thanksgiving to you and the family, and we will see you in a couple weeks.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving to you, yours, everybody else that loves this country, shows up for it. God bless you, your family, your friends. I hope that the next few years are prosperous for everybody. And with that being said, happy Thanksgiving to my friends and my family too. We'll see you guys soon.
Absolutely. Travis Gilbert, the winner here tonight at the iRacing Superspeedway, as he will go to victory lane for the fourth time this season and celebrate with the G Lightning team. And as he mentioned, and you see it on the screen, that victory lane interview presented by Vet to Track, of course, helping veterans get their opportunity to get on the track themselves in motorcycles and so much more. Make sure you check out Vet to Track, as Travis out there doing some donuts in the Vet to Track car right now. So, of course, they're the sponsor here of Victory Lane, the main sponsor of the series, and we appreciate everything they do to help out the campaign here. Looking over at the biggest movers in the race, there's actually 3 of them, and we'll have to see how it's all ruled out, but I know Travis Gilbert is actually one of them, plus 11, along with Ryan Wilson and Brady Korowski, all up 11 positions, so not sure who will get the official nod there in the end. I'm thinking it might be Travis, but just in case, because he won, maybe they give it to the next person or whatever. Not sure how that works, but either way, those are your 3 hard chargers presented by Superior Templating, digitalized templating. And a big shout out to, of course, the 21 of Roger Rios Matias, who literally blew over and then went headfirst into a tire barrier to end his night. And I've been told he is reportedly conscious and doing okay, and maybe on his way to Denny's for dinner. Who knows? So thank you to Superior Templating for sponsoring, of course, the Hard Charger Award. Vivid EV for sponsoring the Pole Award, won by Jason Branch again this evening. So big shout out to those guys for what they do. Now, let me peek over here at Discord real quick to see if we have. I know they usually have some work to do or whatever, so let's see. Yeah, so we're not up to date with the point standings, it looks like here, as I know they usually do a they usually gets it out here to me pretty quickly, so we'll hang tight here for a moment. But yeah, we got one more night here on the Captain eSports Network. If you're not doing anything tomorrow night, 9 o'clock Eastern time from Road America, we'll do some road racing, and then we'll take the rest of the week off and the following week and come back on the following Monday, as we will kick off the month of December with some racing, and should be some fun stuff. So want to take a moment to wish everybody a happy Thanksgiving, to those who don't happen to make it back here tomorrow night, and hopefully you do have an enjoyable one. Always remember the 4 F's, I like to call it: food, fun, family, football. The 4 F's of Thanksgiving. So all right, I think that, yeah, probably we'll see if we get the points updated here, but it looks like we're not going to make it. So, all good. We're going to get out of here and go get some rest and come back and do it again tomorrow night. But again, a week from Tuesday, we will be at the 08 Daytona for racing in this 87 car, old school style. And we'll be here at 8:15 Eastern time on December 3rd. Will be the next race in the series. So, remember, this isn't just a game, it's iRacing. See ya!
This is copyrighted broadcast, and I'm reproduced, reused, retrained, written, and informed about the authorized written consent of Captain eSports Network. Captain would like to thank all the loyal fans for your continued support, and hope you enjoyed today's broadcast.
Following is a special presentation. From the Captain eSports Network.